Okay, so there's one more configuration that can be very, very useful, and that is the messages. It is in a JSON file again, called scripts, not like programmer scripts. We're talking more like actor scripts, because this basically determines all of the messages that are going to be displayed. So if we look at this this file, we can see we've got different cases, and then we always have, well, okay, sorry, most of the time we have a GM, instigator, target, and others. Okay, so regular start is basically if we're doing a regular skill check, not opposed, just a regular skill check. So in that particular case, there actually isn't a target because you're not doing an opposed check, so there's only the instigator. The instigator is the person that's doing the action. The target is if you're acting on somebody else, like attacking or opposed check. So this right here indicates what message the GM will get. This indicates what message the instigator will get, and this indicates what all the other people that aren't GM or instigator get. All of these are placeholders. There will be a list of them that are available, but basically it gets you all of the information about what that whatever check is being made. So it'll have like the instigator name, it'll have the name of the check, it'll have the formula that was used, it will have the the formula replaced with the actual values, it'll have the formula replaced with the actual values and dice and the total. I think that's it for regular checks. When we get into the opposed checks, so here we got the opposed check start. So same kind of concept. We've got here, this right here is when it starts, before it does any of the opposed stuff. So for example, if you wanted things like the the skill total that the person rolled before doing the opposed check, you could have that being posted so that the opposing person knows whether or not they want to use some of their talents or not. In this particular case, I kept that empty so it doesn't send any messages, but again, it's totally up to you. You can do that. Then for opposed checks, we also have these two, opposed failure and opposed success. So these are basically the messages that are generated if the original opposed check fails, or if the original opposed check succeeds. And again, with the opposed, we also add in a whole bunch of other placeholders like the opposed roll, the opposed name. So like what if there was a choice, for example, then it'll tell you what skill was used, and then all of the usual like formula, roll and dice and total are also available for the opposed check. In an attack, it's very similar to an opposed check. So we got the start. In this case, I'm keeping that blank. Then we got the attack and success, just like we had for the opposed check, but now we also have this damage section. This section is used for both when we're doing an attack or when you just call up the damage directly. And same kind of idea. We got the message for the GM, the instigator, the target, and others. And again, we got a whole bunch of these, like the formula, roll, dice, and total for the damage. So that means, for example, if you're doing an attack, once you get down into the damage area, you can have everything else that came before. You can put in there. So theoretically, you could have just a single message being sent. It would be a little difficult because damage doesn't know if you've succeeded or failed, so you'd have to have a generic message, but you could do that. Again, totally configurable. And then we also have the messages for the heal, and then there's the generic, which is like when you cast a spell that doesn't really do anything, like that mending, it'll run it through here, where it basically just says, well, in this particular case, it just says the target used whatever. So yes, we've got the character sheets are totally configurable so that you can add whatever features you want to the plugin, and then you've got here the messages that are being generated, also totally configurable. So again, you can put in as little or as much as you want. The default here that I've created is basically, again, the GM gets all the information, which pretty well then shows you all of the placeholders available, and then the instigator gets information about his roles, his or her roles. If it's an opposed check, the target will get information about his or her roles, and then the others typically just get a kind of a summary of what happened. And that's about it.